Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited because we're going to be testing out the new Bridgerton Volume 2 collection from Pat McGrath. I am a sucker. I just adore this packaging. I feel like I've literally never had a palette that went with my aesthetic so much. I love pink and gold together. I love the packaging, and the inside of the palette is beautiful as well. So here is what it looks like. There's a satin kind of like neutral pinky shade. We've got two of these shades which actually look really similar to the ones in the first palette, but I'm gonna do comparison swatches of this versus the original at the end of the video. And then I feel like there's more special shades in here because there's like a really beautiful like light kind of minty shimmer. There's this like rose gold which looks so intense, and then we also have this just beautiful like kind of like greeny gold. I mean, that one is just stunning. So I'm really excited to test that out today. And then I normally do not fall for lipstick packaging, but the packaging of the lipsticks in this collection, I just could not buy them. I don't know. I don't even have words. So this first one is called Nude Romantique 2, and it says it's a satin allure lipstick, which I have only tried Pat McGrath's matte lipstick formula, so I'm excited about that. But look, the packaging is so cute. I can't. Oh my goodness. So here's what that one looks like. Oh my goodness. Okay, it doesn't really smell like anything. I had someone tell me that the bow comes off and you can wear it as a ring. Am I about to break this packaging? I don't know that it does. It's not wanting to come off. It's not coming off easily. All right, I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna force it off. I don't even wear rings, but I can't with the packaging on that. And then I also grabbed the Satin Allure lipstick in the shade Negligee. This one is the pink and gold packaging. I mean, it is so cute. It actually looks like a little bit more like a pinky peach in person. But here's what that shade looks like. So we'll do lip swatches and everything at the end after the eyeshadow, but I feel like sometimes when you're a makeup lover, the packaging of a collection can make you so happy, and that is definitely what happened here. I feel like I'm a little disorganized, but let's go ahead and jump into swatches of the eyeshadow palette. So like I said, first we have like a neutral kind of like satiny, actually has like a slight pinky sheen to it. That looks really pretty. I could definitely see using that as my highlighter today. And also this formula, this like B formula there actually works really well for blush. I think it was like an eye blush is what it was marketed as, and I don't really like that for actual eyeshadow, but I'm sure that I'll end up using it for blush today. So that one is just kind of like a soft, kind of like just light pink. It has like a little bit of a sheen to it. And then next we have this shade, which I can't even handle. It is just so sparkly and pretty. It's like the most stunning bronzy shadow. I would probably use a glitter primer with this shadow just because it's so intense and so sparkly. I feel like it's going to be a little bit messy. Okay, next we have kind of like a muted burgundy. We've got a mint shimmer, which this one, I mean, it's not like super special or sparkly per se, but the color is so pretty. And then we have this greeny gold. This is kind of like the Pat McGrath special shadows that are like a little bit more of like a thin formula. Super pretty. I mean, I will say just like right off the bat, this versus the original palette, I felt like there was only one shade that was like truly special in that one. And this one, the color story, I feel like is a little bit more fun. I don't know, I think it's very cute. I don't even know what I want to do today. So I already primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and I think I've decided my game plan. I feel like these two shades are so pretty and so special that I'm sure a lot of tutorials are gonna go out using those first. So I think I'm actually gonna focus on the mint shade today and just like kind of make that the star of the show. And then if you guys want to see me do a few more looks with this, just let me know, but we're gonna go minty today. So actually, I guess I should say, I'm gonna start off with this matte first. I'm using the term matte loosely, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that into my crease to start off with. Just using a big fluffy brush to kind of diffuse it a little bit more. Like I said, this kind of formula from Pat McGrath is definitely not my personal favorite, but in the original palette she has some of these, and when I use them on my eyes, I was disappointed, but then when I used them as blush, I was like, that's actually so pretty. So I think that's one of the reasons why I ended up purchasing the second one, is because I knew I would get use out of this shade as blush for sure. I'm gonna pick that shade up again on a slightly more precise crease brush and just bring that right through the crease just to build it up a little bit. This is one of my favorite things to do when I don't have as many mattes, is to just use different brushes to get the most out of the ones that I do have. So we can get a good transition going. We can build up some depth just by using a more fluffy brush and then a more dense brush. And again, just grabbing that same shade, and I'm going to throw it along the entire lower lash line. Just kind of packing it on and then blending it out a little bit. Now let's go into that kind of like light burgundy matte. I'm gonna take that on like a medium sized fluffy brush, throw it in the outer V. Okay, I mean, I feel like that is actually such a pretty tone. Just gonna lightly blend it out. Yeah, I'm feeling already like I like this palette much more than the first one, which the first one I do like, but this one I could see being more versatile, something that I would reach for more, not just something I bought because the packaging got me. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that shade and connect to the lower lash line. Just going into the big fluffy brush that I started with to go over everything. Just making sure it's all nice and soft. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I mean, it's blending really nicely. I feel like at this point you really could go in with the super bronzy shade all over the lid. It would be beautiful. You could go in with the greeny gold all over the lid. It would be beautiful. I think it would pop in the most pretty contrasting way, but we're gonna go ahead and grab the mint. Actually, you know what? I like to do the lid shade last recently. I'm gonna first take this like light pink and pop it in my inner corner. Just grabbing that on a pencil brush and popping it right here. I really love that like Pat McGrath includes like a light satin shade in pretty much all of her palettes. I just feel like it's super versatile. I feel like every palette that I have from her, I like the light satin shade. I get good use out of them, so I'm a fan. So now let's go into the mint. Part of me is like, maybe I should do a glitter primer first just to make it more intense, or maybe I could use a brush and spray it. I'm kind of undecided. So I ended up picking it up on a brush. Just gonna go ahead and spray just a little bit. I don't know that it necessarily needs this, but sometimes it can just add that little extra bit of oomph. So just gonna go ahead and throw that all over the lid. Okay, I mean, definitely didn't add any extra oomph. Just looks very subtle. Okay, I'm grabbing an extra layer to go over top of that. Oh, that's okay. It's building pretty. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. The only problem is sometimes I feel like when I spray shades, I end up like making my eyes sensitive because I just don't like the way that liquid feels on my eyes. Sometimes I'm just kind of weird about it and it makes me want to cry. I feel like that's probably the reason why I don't spray eyeshadow that often and I prefer a glitter primer, because I feel like there's just something so uncomfortable about the way that like something cream feels like going on my eyes. Is anyone else the same? Okay, I'm kind of just blending whatever's left over into the outer V just to make sure everything's nice and soft. But I mean, I feel like that turned out cute. I didn't get any fallout from it, even though I packed it on a ton. I mean, it's a nice shade, but I still wish I had like a little bit more impact. I kind of want to try it on my finger, but my eyes are sensitive now and I'm like trying not to cry. It's a whole thing. So I'm just picking up a little bit on my finger and I'm just gonna tap that over top just to see. I mean, I guess it's looking a little bit more intense, but it's also looking a little bit more textured because I'm layering so much. I'm just grabbing the brush that I used for the outer V and just lightly blending that real quick right here. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call that a day. I do think that looks cute. Let's go ahead and do the cheeks really quick before I throw on some mascara and some eyeliner. Like I said, I'm going to go into that shade as my blush. So I just picked up a decent amount. Just going to go ahead and throw that on. I mean, very pigmented. I feel like one of my favorite things is having my cheek perfectly match what's happening in my crease. I just love the monochromaticness of it all. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that on. I feel like it blends pretty well, and because it has that like soft sheen to it, it just looks like such a pretty blush. And let's take the satin shade as our highlighter. Just picking up a little bit and throwing it on the tops of the cheekbones. I mean, it does have a little bit of a base to it, so I'm gonna blend it back into the blush, but I feel like that looks really pretty. All right, really quickly off camera, I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl eyeliner in the shade Fresh into my waterline just to kind of add to that pop of mint. Gonna throw on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, now it is time to try out the lipsticks. Let's go ahead and do some swatches. I'll do them on my hand and my lips just so we can see. So first we have that shade Nude Romantique 2. So I grabbed the lightest shade in like the light blue and the light pink packaging. So that just looks like a really pretty kind of like soft pink. I like that actually a lot because I feel like it's not too vibrant. It looks very muted, which is definitely what I like in a nude, and it kind of has like a good little glossy finish. And then for the shade Negligee, okay, that one is, oh, that's really pretty too. I mean, it's a little bit more of like a peachy brown. I mean, I feel like some people would say those two look like the same, but I'm happy with them. So I think I'm gonna do this one first and then we can do Nude Romantique 2. Ooh, super creamy. So comfortable. Well, first of all, I'm happy with the shade. I feel like that's such a pretty, like kind of has like a little bit of like a peachy nudeness to it, but very subtle. I could definitely see myself reaching for that a lot, which makes me really happy because again, I bought it because of the packaging, but I'm happy that it looks really pretty. And I actually really like the finish of this because like I said, I've only tried the matte lipsticks from Pat McGrath before, and that's super, super comfortable. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I feel like this is such a good first impression. All right, so there is Nude Romantique 2, and I feel like it's, again, super pretty. It's kind of like a nice pink, but it's so subtle. I love that because like I personally just don't reach for super bright pinks in my lipsticks. It's probably like the one lipstick shade I just don't like to go for. It's like a true pink. I do like the pinks I have from Lisa Eldridge because I feel like she did them really well, but this is definitely my kind of like pinky nude. I think it's so, so pretty, especially with the look. I feel like it's so good. All right, y'all, so this is the finished look. Like I said, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I really like the eyes. I mean, the mint is kind of a little bit more on the subtle side, but I feel like the matte's blended really beautifully. I feel like the other special shades are gonna be so stunning when I get to play with them next. Like I said, I was just hoping to maybe do a different kind of look than, you know, I feel like a lot of people, a lot of tutorials are gonna be focused on those other two shades. So we went mint today, but let me know if you want to see, maybe I could do like a 2 more looks video with the Bridgerton palette. But now let's go ahead and do some comparison swatches real quick. All right, so here is what the 2 palettes look like next to one another, just so you can see them nice and up close. So just swatching in order, we're gonna do the satin light shade first from the original palette, and then here is the second one. So they're very similar. I feel like the second one is a little bit lighter and a little bit more foiled. So there's Bridgerton 1 and Bridgerton 2. Yeah, definitely a slight difference in just formula. I feel like the second one is more intense. I also wanna go ahead and swatch all the matte shades. So I'm gonna do these 2 first next to this shade. I mean, those do look all like really pretty blush shades, but here's from the first palette and the second palette. So the second one definitely is quite a bit more peachy. Now let's go ahead and swatch the deepest shade in each palette. So this one is like a really pretty kind of like muted plum, and then this one I would say is more like a muted burgundy. Right, so there's those 2 next to each other. I mean, the formula is so good on both of them. Just that super smooth matte. I feel like that's all you can really compare out of these 2. I mean, we do have this like rose gold kind of satin, and we have this shade, but I mean, I feel like you can tell they're completely different. So, I mean, I would say that I'm happy looking at the swatches. I feel like what you got out of this palette is a little bit different. The two shades right here are pretty close, but I would say if you were worrying about the mattes repeating, I don't feel like they do. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this first impression, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!